Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see all of you today. My name is Mark Schneider. I am the AVP of K-14 Academic Initiatives and Support, helping our dual credit program across the state with nearly 92,000 students this year and 5,000 dual credit instructors. We have a good number of you here today. Today we're here to talk about entrepreneurship, business, a few classes along those lines. Want to throw it over to our content expert, our faculty member. Steve, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? You're muted, though.
I am muted.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. I was trying to bring up my deck, but I'll have to fix.
Here,
That's okay. I can talk without it. Believe me.
You're a
Hi, I'm
co-host, so you
Steve
can share that
Deverazzi.
too.
I am the program chair for the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. I'm actually based at the Marion campus, and I guess I will let the introductions go around before I say anything else. Is that what you want, Mark?
Since we have such a large group today, to make sure we get to everything, we'll probably just skip those introductions. Normally, we've had a little bit smaller group, so we will pass on that here. But also joining us from the systems office is Laura Hayes. Laura, I'll let you introduce yourself real quick so everyone can see the Ivy Tech statewide team here.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Steve. I'm Laura Hayes. I'm the Executive Director of K-14 and Strategic Initiatives with Systems Office. And it's really nice to see such a big crowd today. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and just some background. In the last few years, we've had a K-14 Summit Dual Credit Conference. Laura's actually been the host of those the last few years. And this year we changed the setup. We moved it earlier in the year, and we also had it, instead of set up for dual credit instructors, is more for our guidance counselors, administrators, people like that. But in years past, one of our sessions that we would have would be a discipline dialogue, where any of the instructors, if we're there, could have a discussion with the faculty members that oversee some of their dual credit courses. And that was really popular in the past. So we wanted to try to recreate that this spring and see how that looked and what would happen this year. So this is why we have these discipline dialogues. If we have 20 of these scheduled. If we have 20 sessions with this great attendance here, we'll definitely continue doing it moving forward into the future. But anyways, that's where we're at today and why we're here. So I'll just start it off. I'll be doing some kind of Q&A, just some talking points here with Steve to kind of help things get going. But if anyone has any questions at any time, feel free to get off mute. You can raise your hand virtually or raise your hand on your screen. Feel free to raise any point. We want this to be a discussion. It's called the discipline dialogue. We hope to have as much dialogue with our instructors as possible. So, Steve, with that being said, what are some best practices that you have, whether it be from the entrepreneurship program or business programs, things that you've seen in some dual credit classes that you think would maybe be really great to see replicated in other courses?
I think the biggest thing is our program is just very different. We don't have textbooks, we don't have tests, but you have to find a way to measure student success. And so I think the best thing to do for our program is to use the resources that we can give you to teach from, so that both students at the high school level as well as the college level are getting the same content, and that they're not being taught something different in high school, that if they end up transferring in the Ivy Tech and want to continue either the certificate program or the technical certificate program, they're not in a different space.
Okay, yeah, and just to kind of go off of that, we always want to have, in many cases, we have our dual credit classes exceed, what's being offered on the college campus, largely because of the contact hour requirements. A college class 3 credit hour class typically equals 48 hours of contact time in the college class. Well, most of our teachers here are having students for a semester or full year, depending on how long their periods are. It could end up being close to 180 hours of contact time depending on how everything's structured. So, you know, a lot of great things going along those lines right there. See, for those of everyone who's on here who teaches entrepreneurship courses, there at least has been some discussion about some of the changes with maybe the course sequencing and offering, and also like RISE training, things like that. Would you mind kind of getting the group up to date for our entrepreneurship instructors about those changes right there?
Yeah, sure. So right now we have a 3-class certificate program that is in a total 16 hours of credit hours. So it's a lot of information in 24 weeks, and it's almost too much information to cover in 8-week periods. So what we've done is we recognize that students need to be able to take in more content in a longer period of time. So what we've done is we've gone from those 3 classes to 6 classes that'll begin in the fall, and those will each be 3 credit hours, which then make them transferable to other 4-year institutions, which is a huge benefit for the program. We have also, from a training perspective, we are in the process of redoing all the curriculum for each of these new classes. So, for example, we've added a lean marketing component to it because small business owners really do need to do lean marketing. They don't have, you know, millions of dollars to spend on that. We've also added a finance component to it because it's such an important part of a business. And so we've added those components, and so therefore we're restructuring all their curriculum in the 6 classes and the content that we're teaching so they better align with the learning outcomes we want our students to have. So what we're going to do with that content is we're going to be doing train the trainer. We used to have an educational partner called RISE. They are still a partner of ours, but teachers were required to pay their own fare to go up to training with them, and became burdensome for a lot of schools due to budgets. And so we are going to be implementing a train the trainer program within our program so that we can bring in and teach the curriculum to teachers in a more economical way.
Yeah, and to address a question in the chat about the NLPS standards, if they are changing the review document, which is kind of like the Next Level Programs of Study Bible, for next year has not been, the final updates have not been released, but the course sequencing changes that Steve mentioned, going from you know, those 5 credit hour classes and splitting them up into 3 credit hour classes and things like that, that will be reflective in the new NLPS document when that comes out. It should come out sometime by the end of the month, but I'll say that, and then it'll be like, you know, mid-May or something like that. But it should be sometime sooner rather than later. If you do have specific questions about what that new course sequencing would look like, things like that, please feel free to reach out to your entrepreneurship program chair that is helping you with those courses. My understanding, though, is that it's not necessarily like a lot of the content is changing. It's just kind of splitting things up. So instead of it all being kind of crammed into one course, it's a little bit more manageable, split up over 2 courses right there. So it shouldn't see, at least in the classroom, a lot of changes for the students. A few additional things here and there, but by and large, you know, it's mainly just kind of administrative bureaucracy types changes that are going on right there.
Yeah, that's true, Mark. I mean, the content is, again, the main reason was we were trying to do all these things over such a short period of time. I don't think the benefits we're getting to the student on all the curriculum. And so outside of adding some really emphasis on marketing and finance, yes, the content in general is the same.
Okay, just
Mark.
Yeah, and just real quick here, just a reminder, we had a few people join after we got started. I put a Google form in the chat, so that way anyone who wants to fill it out for professional growth points will be sending that out when all the discipline dialogue sessions are done in the middle of May. But please fill that out so we can give you some credit and help you renew your license a little bit easier whenever that time break gets brought up. So Steve, you have mentioned the RISE training and other things like that. So that is one resource, especially for entrepreneurship, the instructors can utilize. Are there any other, whether it be like professional development opportunities that are available at an Ivy Tech campus, or just in general out there, maybe through the chamber, local chambers or something like that? Also, are there any course materials that an instructor should be aware of that might be available from Ivy Tech that they could utilize in Ivy Learn or anything like that? You're muted again.
Sorry, folks. I'm not using my work laptop and it's causing me problems. In any case, Mark, a little bit of all of that. I mean, we're still putting the pieces together, but one of the things we did is we not only are partnering with RISE, but we've reached out. And so we're doing a lot more work with, for example, Next Studios and some of these statewide venture organizations that are entrepreneurial in nature. We're working with, depending on the location of the campus, we're working with the local incubators that they have. So in Bloomington, for example, there's the Mill. That's an entrepreneurial space. And then, of course, in each community, we bring in local subject matter experts for the students to talk on specific, accounting or legal questions or any of the like, as well as the traditional Chamber of Commerce and, of course, the Indiana Small Business Development Center, which is a partner that helps provide a lot of our content in terms of lots of things like research, business plan development, and the like.
I almost talked with the mute on, so you're not the only one guilty of it. So just to let our dual credit instructors know, for next year, it's not been completed yet, but it's in the works. We have a dual credit course by course syllabus template that will be rolling out for next year. So of course, that is all veteran dual credit instructors know that is a requirement to submit a syllabus each year for your courses. In years past, we've just had a generic statewide template that's for all of our courses. So whether it's Business 101 or Welding 100 or anything like that, just had like a generic template with kind of like the legal language that needed to go into it. This coming year, we'll have it broken down a little bit more specific, so that way the course outline of record and the course objectives are inserted into there. Of course, you'll still have to do things, like put your name, email. Probably the calendar is the thing that will probably take the most amount of time. That will still be a requirement, but some of the other things that kind of varies on a course by course basis. We're trying to provide a template for each of our 425 courses, so that way it makes it a little bit easier on you. So do be on the lookout for that here in the coming weeks. And with that, I don't know if there's anything else, Steve, that you want to mention, or if not, we can open it up to Q&A from our audience for anything that they might like to have addressed.
I don't have anything else. Make sure I'm not on mute. But certainly happy to take questions either right now or offline if somebody wants to talk about the program in a little bit more detail, or I can put you in contact with any of the other program chairs that are offering it.
And in the chat, I'm also putting my email address. So if there's anything specifically that you need or would like to have addressed, you can email me. Steve can put his email in there too. I see that he's done that, so you can reach out to us. Of course, your local program chairs are some of the best resources out there who can help address anything. But that being said, what topics, questions, thoughts are on the mind of our instructors out there?
That must mean I did an excellent job of explaining the program.
I will go with that. I agree with that. Right there. Well, people do think about a potential question here. I will say a couple of reminders just to the group. Once again, free summer is ongoing. Students can enroll now between now and when's classes start, like June 5th, something like that for summer. So you have a little less than 2 months for high school students to take any Ivy Tech course for free, as long as they meet the prereqs for it. So that includes, say you have a business NLPS pathway that you're teaching, and the student's already got the certificate that goes with it. Maybe just needs another course or two for the technical certificate, things like that. This is a great opportunity for them to do that. So any and all Ivy Tech courses are available for free, whether that's face-to-face, online, any modality that is ongoing. And we encourage you to send students our way. Also, we just want to send out a thank you to everyone, all of our dual credit instructors. To being a dual credit instructor requires some extra work on your part. To be able to offer college credit to your high school students. It's nothing that is required or mandated in most situations. It's usually just a high school teacher doing this out of the goodness of their heart because they know of the benefit that comes to their students. Even though that means they have to do, a few extra hours of work for syllabi requirements, completing professional development, doing a site visit, all those things that we expect of our college adjunct faculty that we have to require for accreditation purposes from our dual credit faculty as well. It's extra work, but we appreciate all of that. And there's, like I said, 92,000 students this year in Indiana that are benefiting from it. So, Steve, I see you have your hand up. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but
Yeah.
I do see you have your hand up.
It is. I just wanted to mention that the entrepreneurship program is 100% on campus. So it's not something you can take virtually or through Learn Anywhere. And the reason being is it is a very different type of course where we do a lot of student-to-student interaction. They're working on their personal brand and they're working on all kinds of different things. And so it is a requirement that you are on whatever campus you service area you're in.
Great point. Okay, with all that being said, last call for any potential questions from the crowd. Okay, well, I am going to hit the stop record button. We appreciate everyone's time here. If there are any questions that you'd like to ask offline, I'll be on here. Steve can stay on here for a few extra minutes, and you can ask us if you don't want it in a recorded format that way. But we appreciate everyone joining today.